a tree full of rubber, lashed by the shackles of freedom's distant call. Blood on my mutilated hands, never again to flow like the rapid Congo through my rough hair. My family's unambulatoriness binds us to the axe of the land, to chop towards an elastic future. This life is my constant harvest, 8 days a week to swing my sword at the ever unforgiving earth, assisting my oppressors to beget my liberation, only to ultimately belate it. My twigs are thrashed, as if a rock residing beneath the river, my being annually sundered, my soul attenuated, my purpose atrophied, all to endow him abundant affluence, or so my leaves tell.
Colored folk work on the Congo River. Colored folk work while the white folks play. Pulling them boats from the dawn to sunset. Getting no rest till the judgment day.
Is it adulteration? These men deprive my immaculation with their fractious hands from the seats of archangels. But, Augustic Father, I plead to be at thy side. Father, let me sing from the earth of my many children's bones. Let my song be heard across the world. For God, I'm simply tired of living. But God, so scared of dying. Jehovah, there is none to stop them but you. If you still love this askew vessel, let me ascend to an even higher seat that you will finally hear my call. Cease the rape of the Congo.
Don't look up and don't look down. You don't escape the white boss from. Bend your knees and bow your head and pull that rope until you're dead. Let me go away from the Congo River. Let me go away from the white man boss. Show me that stream called the River Jordan. That's the old stream that I longs to cross. Old man river, that old man river, he must know something, but he don't say nothing. He just keeps rolling, he keeps
Oliver Lester, and today I will be interviewing a former Tutsi soldier who was a part of the first Congolese War. Man, he sure is running late. We're supposed to meet about 10 minutes ago. Well, it seems that he just arrived, everyone. As we walk to our meeting spot, Gabriel describes how his past defines who he is today. Gabriel also asked that we blur his face and meet in a discreet location as the UN is tracking him for questioning.
Appreciate it.
Well, Gabe, thank you so much for coming out here today. I have a couple questions that I want to ask you.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see. So, to begin, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, the purposes of the interview, I'm going to be called Gabriel Jackson.
Gabriel Jack. Okay.
That's okay with you?
Yes.
I was a former soldier in the Rwandan army during the first Congolese War. And, well, I was conscripted into the army when I was 18 years old. And I went through a lot of that as an adolescent. Now I'm 39. And
How long ago was it now? 21 years ago?
21 years. I moved to the U.S. trying to avoid the UN's questioning of me.
Yeah.
You know, I'll explain that later if you want me to. I really don't have much time, so I explain to you outside. I'm pretty sure today is going to be a very important day to me. If I don't get my story out today, I don't think I ever will.
Okay, Gabe. So if you don't mind, so why did you decide to come to an independent reporter like myself, Oliver Lester, to tell your story rather than going to the UN?
You know the story of the Congo,
Yeah.
I assume, pretty detailed. And you know, after the first Congo War, Kabila was installed as president.
Yeah.
And the UN sent some missions in there. It was an investigation into what the Rwandan army, excuse me, had done to the Hutu refugees in the eastern regions of the Congo.
And this was after they had escaped from the genocide?
Yes.
Yes.
After they had left the country, after the Tutsis had brought them out of power.
Yeah.
My people, the Tutsis. But yeah, the UN went in to investigate if the army that I was a part of had been committing acts of possible genocide. It was genocide against the refugees. And the Congolese government decided to block their efforts. And so the UN was not very happy about that. Instead, they launched a subsequent one in which they're trying to prove that their report on the minimal investigation that they did, that they were able to conduct in 1997. In that report, they, like I said, reported that there was a possible genocide. Now, they're trying to follow up on that in modern times. So, that's why they're out to question me. And the reason I came to you rather than to go to them, even though their path is probably more legal and I could probably get my story out quicker, is that my family still lives in Rwanda. And as you know, we are Tutsi people. I am very positive that the president would not like me betraying my country's trust like that.
Oh gosh, then your family is in danger if you were to...
Yeah, my family's in pretty grave danger because he's not a president, he's a semi-dictator, no matter what the media seems to tell the rest of the world. If I am going before the UN with my identity released to the public and my story told as I need to tell it, it would not work. The UN needs to have them for their permanent records in order to put our army to justice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if I went to the UN without my identity being secure, then there's no way I would be able to tell the full story, because the full story is not sympathetic to the Rwandan army. I'm ashamed of a lot of what I've done.
So these actions that you're ashamed of, could you describe them to me? Also, if you had one moment where you could go back and tell yourself to do something differently, when and what would that moment be?
Look it out, man.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, I feel like even though I've witnessed hell, its flames have never licked my being, but I honestly feel like, I don't know, Satan's jaws consumed the people that we were attacking.
So could you describe these Satan's jaws that you speak of?
Well, I mean, not literally, obviously. I mean, just the horrors that we committed to them. But in a sense, I mean, the fires of hell really were set upon them because, my unit specifically, we went into the camps, and rather than just chasing the people out or killing them, we set the camps ablaze with napalm. Some would escape beforehand, but not all.
So these people that you escaped, what happened to them afterwards?
A lot of them fled into the Congolese jungle. And my unit specifically was assigned to a group of around 300 of them, who were around the camps
And these
that we set ablaze.
So these people, they'd go to the jungle. They were able. I mean, that's a pretty harsh environment. Were they able to just live in the jungle?
No, that's a good question because, I mean, clearly they couldn't just live in the jungle. They would run from us very well. Not sure. It's probably because of the heavy militarization of the camps. As you know, or I don't know if you do know, there were Hutu military officials that used to be part of the Rwandan army that were, organizing the camps and organizing a lot of their escapes.
Yeah.
So the military officials got them through the jungles. But we, sadly for them, we were very good trackers. Very good. Nobody escaped. Not in the group that we were chasing.
All 300 of them.
Men, women, and children. We found them in a village. It's like 20 miles outside the border of the jungle.
Could you describe this village for me? Did something happen there? It seems that something really horrendous must have occurred.
Yeah.
Or am I understating?
The village itself it had a gate. It was a checkpoint.
Okay.
It was manned by a single guard. There was like a single guard manning that, and we saw a couple other ones with AK-47s just patrolling, and we thought it was a Congolese army, and we thought it was going to be a battle. We thought there might have been more backup, but we would later find out that it was just young 20 to 25-year-old men trying to protect their village.
Just people from the camps.
Yeah.
Men, yeah.
Even then, it wasn't even people from the camps. It was people from the village.
From the village, and
Originally, they were just trying to protect it because, I mean, we were in the middle of a war. And the young man came to my commander. He tried to talk to him. My commander put a bullet through his eye. Came out the back of his head.
So, this is one of the guards.
Yeah, it's a kid, 23 years old at the most.
Gosh. I mean, it could have been you if you were the.
It could have been me.
Yeah.
I was 18 years old. As we were walking into the village, right around as the first people noticed that we were there and noticed that the young man was gone, the village elder, probably listening off of his radio, heard that there was a storm coming. We did notice, and we were banking on it because if people are stuck inside their houses, they're a lot easier to exterminate.
So then, what happened? They were all in their houses.
He opened fire as we were walking through. like the middle of the village, let's say, something like that. During the time that we were there, my training just kicked in until a certain point, and I'll tell you about that later. But the children were actually the first to be dealt with. The high school kids have a lot more motor function. They can do a lot more damage to us personally than just toddlers or elementary school kids. They just ran the other way, and nobody just cared enough to put them into the jungle. They just let them run because they were going to die anyway. There's no way they could have survived.
They live in the jungle.
Or even going to a different village, they probably would have died on the way. The men were not tortured. They were put through hell. There were a lot of techniques that some of the people in my specialized unit used. We were a very specialized unit. So they started to practice those techniques on the men, just to see if they would work out. Any men that didn't resist, they got the mercy. Bullet in the chest. Only a couple got bullets in the head. And those were the ones that helped us. They helped us tie down their own wives. And then they got shot in the head. So from there I can move on to the women now. Transition to that.
That's a little bit I have heard about. Heard about the horrors. I met a woman a year or two ago that told me about her story. She herself didn't get abused, but a lot of her friends did. And so I'm assuming you had to go through that as well, watching it like she did.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Yeah.
That's what. That's the point where my training just couldn't save me anymore. I saw a girl my age. I was 18. I was about to turn 19, and I asked her how old she was because I don't know why. She looked my age, and I wanted to know. I felt a connection, and I felt like I didn't want her to, be subject to the things that I had just seen.
Yeah.
Wives getting raped in front of their children who couldn't leave because they were too young. 3-year-olds watching their. So yeah, I tried to talk to her, but I still couldn't bring myself to tell her to leave because, I still felt that I would be betraying my country.
Yeah.
So when they found her, they asked me if I wanted to go first, and I was like, nah, y'all can take y'all's turns. And, they were my friends, so they didn't bother asking me why. So I sat in the corner, and 3 or 4 people did what they wanted to do with her.
Wow.
I feel like the worst part is that I wasn't defenseless or useless. I could have done a lot.
I mean, I guess in the moment you kind of just saw that these people were human as well.
I think I did. I didn't realize that my friends weren't treating another human being with the dignity that another human being deserves. Yeah. I felt disgusting, even in the moment. A girl my age, and I should have done something. There was so much I could have done. I had my gun out. They were vulnerable. They were gonna rape her. They didn't care. They thought they were safe. And they were because of my inability to act. We left her there, shaking, and we left the village.
Wow.
I deeply wish I would have done something. It haunts me today. Oh my god. Oh my god.
What's wrong?
I think this interview ran a little long. I don't know if they're. Oh my god. I think there might be still trailing me, so I should probably leave pretty soon.
Well, thank you so much for coming out here today.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Of
I want to make your story known to the world.
Yes, sir. Thank you.